Okay, so now on to, I was about to say more serious, but this is actually not going to be a serious approach to how you normally see like Meet the Press or Face the Nation. This is more going to be like Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. We want to ask the questions and get a chance to meet the persons who are actually responsible for the forum today. But before I do that, I'd like to see, by show of hands, how many Mars One applicants do we have in the audience? If you're, wow. That's actually not surprising. You can put your hands down now. That's not actually surprising once you see the documentary, but that is awesome. That is really good to see. Now, for those of you who are in the audience, how many of you would consider yourselves international visitors? You're not originally from here in the United States. Wow. Wow. That is more awesome. So one of the things that struck me when Austin first asked me to do this, and I started doing research and started looking at everything that was online, is how far-reaching this is. A big idea is an idea that's so big it can't be held in the head of one person. And Mars One obviously is a big idea. We want to give credit to the person whose head it started in, but I think the thing that is very telling is that big idea resonated with all of you in this room and definitely with the persons here at the table. So normally what I would do is, give you some platitudes about them, where they went to school, what their dog's name is, what sign they are. But what I'm going to do actually is have each of them introduce themselves, and they're going to do it in this way. They're going to give me their name. They're going to give me their Mars One call sign, which means they have to start thinking right now. And then they're going to give you very quickly the first thing that they thought about when they saw the Mars One effort and what made them decide to go on. And then we'll get into some questions, and then we'll let you guys interact with them. Okay? So we're going to start on my far left with Dr. Layla.
Okay. What call sign? Duh.
Name?
Layla Zucker. Call sign? Dr. Layla.
Okay, so stop. Okay, so I'm a retired Navy guy. I spent most of my career in airplanes and doing other fun stuff with people who I can't talk about. You don't get a call sign because you want to choose it. I mean, Tom Cruise's call sign probably wasn't Maverick because it sounded cool. When you get a call sign, it's because of something you screwed up. Okay? So, my call sign is Stealth. Very cool sounding call sign, right? You know why my call sign is Stealth? Because in flight school, I didn't realize how far of a drive it was from my apartment in traffic to Naval Air Station Pensacola, and for the first week out of 5 sessions I was late to 3. So if you look at the picture that they take, there's a spot where I'm missing. So they said Joe's actually there, but he's in stealth mode. So that became my call sign. Now it's a cool sounding call sign, right? But not that, the reason behind it is not that good. So even though we like Dr. Layla, we need a better call sign than Doc. That is way too obvious. So I'll tell you what, you get to give the person to your right their call sign. Okay, there we go.
My favorite Martian.
All right. Okay. Good. So, Dr. Layla, what first caught your interest with the Mars One effort?
Well, my husband actually sent me an email. That's how I heard about Mars One. About maybe 3 days before the application was going to go up, and he said, "I'm going to read it off so I don't screw it up." Fill my thing. I don't want you to, but I'd feel like a lousy husband if I knew about this and didn't send you a link. Because he knows I've always wanted, like everybody else here, right? Always wanted to go to space. So as soon as I heard about it, I obsessed for like the next 3 nights in a row and wrote it up and sent it in. And that's pretty much it.
Wow. Is your husband here today?
He is not. He is off playing poker. otherwise he would also be an applicant.
Okay, so a hand for Dr. Layla's husband. Okay, Austin.
Austin Bradley, and my call sign for Joseph Sweeney to my right, I think is going to be Merlin, because he's going to have to come up with he's going to have to use some magic to come up with a reason to convince his girlfriend that he's going to do this.
I have 28 days to convince her to apply as well, so it's all right.
Okay, but great call sign name. Good job. Okay, so Austin, what made you, what interested you with the Mars One piece?
My mom sent me an email, and I swear it read exactly like this one. I know you really want to go to Mars, and I would feel terrible because I came across this news article on Yahoo. This was in January, and I thought I better send it to you. So, I mean, it's exactly the same story. She knows that I want to go to Mars, and she sent it to me, and I obsessed over it, made the video, and I was one of the early applicant. I was given the opportunity to submit my application early, so I think I was 7 to submit my application. But, I mean, it's a very, very similar story.
Cool, cool. Joe.
All right, Aaron.
Announce your name first.
Oh, yeah, all right, okay, so, my name is Joseph Sweeney, everyone. Hi. How you doing? Hi. And, Aaron, I think I'd like to dub you the Olympian.
Wow.
It's not going to make sense to a lot of people. It's an inside joke that we have.
Perfect call sign then.
You will be the Olympian. And it
I'll
sounds
take it.
great, too.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I'll
you're-
take
you're
that.
okay with it.
Of course, we're going to have to know the story now.
All right, so Aaron has a very famous cousin, right?
Yeah.
That is a gymnast. And he told us a really funny story the other night about how this gymnast cousin of his was pulled over and attempted the line, "Do you know who I am?"
More than one.
Yeah,
Yeah. But one of them was pulled over and tried to pull the line, "Do you know who I am?" And obviously it didn't work out. So
Yeah, because the answer to that is always no.
So now hopefully when people pull you over as the Olympian, they'll know who you are.
That's right.
So Joe, what made you interested in Mars One?
Right, so I can't remember how I found out about Mars One. I don't have an awesome story, somebody emailed me or anything like that. I think I found it on the internet. But the really exciting part was to be a part of something that not many people get a chance to do. I was a linguistics major, I didn't do much in science background. A lot of us never had the opportunity to join the military and go into Air Force and become an astronaut. And that's why we're all here.
By the way, most of the astronauts are either Navy or Marine Corps, just a statistical fact there.
See, that's how little I know.
And what? Andrew, and what?
Actually, Naval Academy, Marine Corps graduates are the predominant. Back to our panel.
Yeah, so that's it. I'm really excited to be here, though.
Okay, Aaron, so you get to give Dr. Layla a new call sign.
All right. My name's Aaron Hahn, as you guys kind of probably figured out with the whole elephant thing, maybe. But I think that I would give Layla the name Bones because, well, clearly a Star Trek reference. She is the doctor, and I think actually I commented when you put your application up, I started calling you that right away. So this is actually something that's already been there.
And I might have skeletons in my closet, so.
There you go. So Aaron, what made you want to...
I have a way better skeleton than you, I promise.
She's a doctor, of course she does. And we don't want to know, and the views expressed by Dr. Layla are not the views of any hospital she works with or any patients. So Aaron, what made you interested in Mars One?
Well, I actually first heard about Mars One when the press release came out, announcing that they were accepting applications. I hadn't heard anything about them before that, and I couldn't not jump at the chance. I had to. Mars One is doing something that, not even the official government space programs are doing. And on top of that, they're willing to accept anybody's application, no matter what their background, and see who is really prepared to do what they want them to do. And I think that I couldn't miss that opportunity.
Okay, great. So I'm going to ask the first question. So just like Michael Buffer, this is one fall TV time remaining, no eye gouging, thumb smashing, or anything like that. If you have a question and you have not written it down, please grab one of those things and write it down. It'll actually help this go faster if I'm reading the questions. I was given 6. I'm only going to read 1. I'm going to get your questions in front of the panel so that we can answer those as much as possible. If you just, surreptitiously bring it to me and hand it to me in this hand, I will hold it in this hand and read it. Okay? So we'll prime the pump with this question. For all 4 applicants, before you heard of Mars 1, what did you think you were going to be doing in 2023? Let's start in the middle of the panel with my favorite Martian.
Well, recently I worked for the federal government here in the Washington, D.C. area with Joe Smith. That's how I met him. And I left my career there, 12 years, and because I discovered a passion for physics when I was 30. And I think with physics, I can give something to humanity that I couldn't do when I was working at my old government job. So in the future, if the Mars 1 astronaut thing doesn't work out for me, then I think that I will be a PhD physicist and doing some research to help, maybe rocket or some kind of technology to get stuff off of Earth without using chemical propellant, because I think that will be a huge boon to space exploration.
Great. Joe, what would you be doing in 2023?
I have been a college student for about 6 years now, undergraduate, graduate, and I don't know if many other college students in here know, we don't plan much of our lives on the one-month trajectory.
Semester to semester.
I mean, if you had asked me 1 month ago, what would I be doing in 1 month, I couldn't have said I would be here. So I think I'll give just a cheesy general answer. What would I be doing in 2023? Mars 1 or without Mars 1, and it's pursuing something that you love to do. Finding a goal, finding a dream, and making sure that no matter what stands in your way, you are doing it. I recently graduated. I just got a fancy new job. I'm not making minimum wage anymore, flipping burgers or anything like that. So, who knows what the future holds for any of us? It's really just sticking with that dream and just don't let it go.
Aaron?
10 years from now, if you'd have asked me that question 3 months ago, what are you going to be doing 10 years from now? My answer would be that, I would be working a job, probably a decent job, but not necessarily anything that was driving my passion. And my passion really would have been dedicated, I would hope that I would have been married and had kids, and I would have put my passion into my family.
That's a very interesting point, and Doc, we'll end with you on that question. What did you think you'd be doing in 2023?
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I'm already doing exactly what I wanted to be doing, which is become an ER doc and maybe an astronaut. So I'm already doing what I want to do, and I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna hear a gasp. I know I am. I hate kids. I never wanted kids, so that wasn't an issue for me.
Well,
It's not the response I usually get. Thank you very much. No. Obviously, I take care of kids in the ER. Kids love me because I'm a gamer, so I treat them like adults who play games. They love that. But yeah, so for me, it's exactly what I'm doing now. I work in the ER, spend my free time obsessing on space things on the internet and playing games. Right? What else?
Well, great. I think one of the things you can see with all 4 of our applicants and with the people that you've seen, there is a buzzing somewhere, and it's coming from me. Okay. Is that they all have a view about this that's broader than themselves. And the other thing they have is a huge support system. I mean, everybody mentioned somebody else being involved in them being involved in Mars 1. So our first question sort of relates to that. What level of risk would you accept for making it to Mars and lasting the 2 years? So we'll go in reverse order this time. Doc?
You want a percentage? Well, I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, it does. I thought that was a smiley face, but you're right. It does say percentage. So what percentage of risk would you be willing to accept?
That's a good question. I only have to survive 2 years.
Sure.
For 2 years, I probably want closer to 50-50, but if I can have 20 years, 1 in 100. So, you know, it depends on how optimistic I am about the whole process. I'm not, this is not, I think, let's be clear, all of us have commented on this on the Aspiring Martians Group, on Mars One many times. None of us are planning to die. We all recognize that we could. So for me, 1 in 100, if I might have a long life on Mars and really do something, I'll take a long shot. But if I really thought I was going to die in 2 years, 50-50.
Okay. Joe, what do you think?
I'm an eternal optimist, and so I think if the odds were something like, you know, if the risk was 99% or something like that, you've still got that 1% where things can go right. Even if it was 99.999%, maybe it's a bad quality, but I love the quality. Yeah, right, yeah. And that's clear too, so hey. But, yeah, no,
I play poker with you sometime.
No, but if the point is, if the risk were really high, I would still pursue the program. Whether it's for 2 years, whether it's for 2 months, whether it's for, 2 decades, anything like that. And I think as long as there's a small possibility to do something great, I think it's worth any kind of risk at that point.
Great. Wow, that's a very interesting way to look at it. So, one of the things that is going to be necessary is for more than just the Aspiring Martians Group, and even more than just Boz, to be involved in this. What sort of sponsorship should Mars One be aiming for? Or what sort of sponsorship should individual astronauts be aiming for? Austin.
This question comes up a lot in the Aspiring Martians Group and in the Mars One fans forum. And there have been really, really great ideas about like sponsorship. The biggest one probably is sell space on the side of the spaceship for corporate organizations to put their logo. Because who wouldn't, like what organization, Ford or somebody wouldn't want to put Ford right on the side of the rocket ship that's going to land on Mars? And then because it can be broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's huge advertising for them. And I think that that could be a lucrative funding source to get this project off the ground if it came to that. Another option that comes up a lot is Kickstarter. And Kickstarter has been very successful at funding like gaming things and movies and things like that. And I think that with the right set of incentives, I think people in the public would be willing to provide, maybe $10 or something for a Kickstarter campaign that would at least give some money to Mars One for this. You could sell you could get your name on a plaque that goes to Mars, or a name on the side of the lander or something like that for $10. And I think that a lot of people, I would pay $10 to have my name on the side of the lander, even if I don't go. So those are probably two ideas that I've heard most often.
One of the controversial ideas that I've heard that I'm actually against, but I think there's a decent amount of people that are for it, is selling the first words on Mars. Right. Well, or charging people to enter theirs into to enter their idea into a contest to see who would, actually get it. Right. I think that it has the potential to generate a huge amount of money, but I just the moral aspects of that seem dubious at best.
Yeah, and looking at the comments, the things people would say.
Some of the things that people have commented in the group that they would say as the first things. I mean, I know a lot of them are said in jest, but I bet you a lot of them would get submitted too.
Yeah, that's the question I was about to ask.
Now we're talking ethics.
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
I think we can all agree that the folks that would probably get chosen are people who already have an idea of honoring their word. So let's assume that that's the case, and that actually leads us into the next question. So the first thing I want to say is a question to the audience. By show of hands, how many people participate in the forums online? So how many of you are more than just casual participants? You actually have posted something, or you share stuff, or you comment, more than just a smiley face? Okay, so the entire audience is really active in what's going on. So the next question is for the panel. Was the Aspiring Martians Group spawned from the Mars One fan forum? Or how did it come about?
Yeah, so I created the Aspiring Martians Group. It'll be 3 months tomorrow, actually. I was really bored at work.
See, don't you love it how the truth comes? Now, of course, when he's being interviewed by Paula Zahn or somebody, and he says that, it struck him as he was, breaking through the wall on a 20-mile run, nobody go on, Facebook or Twitter and say, that's BS. I remember when he said such and such.
No, but I had just finished my application and I felt very alone. Nobody that I know likes space. My girlfriend is terrified of space. Space and snakes, and the combination of the two.
Samuel L. Jackson is sad to hear that.
And I had nobody to talk to my experience with. I had all these questions running through my head. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to make friends. And that's really where the inspiration behind creating the Aspiring Martians Group happened. I created the group in the first week. It was really just me, throwing these news updates and being really annoying, being like, hey, everybody, check out what Mars One said. Look at all these different articles that Mars One is in. And it was annoying. But it's grown significantly, and we have charts that we post up onto the Facebook group every now and then. But I believe, and I'm not sure about the exact number, but I think we hit about 1,400 today.
we were at 1396, yeah, the last I looked. So we're
I've been
gonna
adding
press
people
it today.
during the morning,
Oh,
so.
yeah, wonderful, yeah. So to go from one person to 1,400 in 3 months, and everyone's just been so great in this group. You think there's going to be negativity, you think there's going to be trolls, you think there's going to be people just on there just to bash the program. No, it's been a lot of people asking questions, people wanting to meet each other. It's been this event right here where everyone comes together and wants to share their experiences. It's been fascinating, just the level of community that we've been able to build so far.
It's like having a family.
Yeah.
That has specific interests that you share with them in space and space exploration. But the reason that there's probably 10 or 15 something Facebook groups out there for aspiring Mars people, and the reason that the Aspiring Martians group became the one was because Joe, when he first set it up, he recruited aggressively.
It's a nice way of saying I stalked.
Yes, yes.
Recruit, stalk,
Yes.
tomato, tomato.
And then it was kind of like the pyramid, he recruited and everybody under him recruited.
And for every person that you recruit, you'll get it.
But then, of course, Mars One took notice of us, and as soon